Hey everybody, it's Christian from HumanRisk, and I've got a couple of stories involving Apple. They're both slightly different but have a human risk angle, so I'll cover them in the same video. First story involves an Apple Store employee that sent themselves intimate photos that a customer had left on their device, which was in store for repair. Now, first thought is clearly that customer probably should have thought to delete or remove those pictures so that risk didn't occur. But then flip side is, why should you have to? And of course, what this illustrates is that every single employee in an organization has the potential to cause human risk. A very junior employee here causing a huge amount of reputational risk to Apple. Hence, they are no longer with the firm, but the firm is still having to manage the fallout. So human risk occurs at all levels of organizations. Second story involving Apple is around their new credit card that they launched jointly with Goldman Sachs. And what people discovered this week as they found out what limits Goldman's and Apple were prepared to give them on that card is that the algorithm determining credit limits had produced some interesting results. One tech blogger identified that his limit was 20 times greater than his partner's, even though she actually had a better credit rating than him. So he took to Twitter to have a rant about this, pointing out the algorithm they were using appeared to be producing incredibly sexist results. And a few people responded they'd seen something similarly. Enter a regulator that spotted this and decided to investigate. So the algorithm is now being investigated by a regulator to see if it produces sexist outcomes. Goldman's and Apple have responded in the way you'd expect them to, which is basically to say that they use a lot of data, it's a highly complex process, and of course their algorithm isn't sexist. But if you think about it, all algorithms are doing is processing a load of data in a way they have been told to. That data is often biased. Particularly historical data contains much more male data than female data. So if you are taking decisions using an algorithm, there is a greater likelihood, if you're using historic data, that it is skewed towards men rather than women. And in this case, what we saw is a really, really bad outcome. It doesn't make any sense that he gets 20 times more than she does, particularly given her credit rating status. And you can see this cropping up more and more where companies are using algorithms more and more frequently. It may not be their intention to be sexist, but that doesn't matter. It's the outcome that matters. That's what the regulator's investigating. And it's illustrative of the fact that technology can reduce human risk by taking the risk out of repetitive tasks, but it introduces a whole host further risk when it's doing highly complicated things that we can't see. And as algorithms take over more and more of the decision making in 21st century organizations, we're going to see a lot more of these sorts of stories where the bias may not be intentionally put into the way the algorithm thinks, but the data that it is being fed with is inherently biased, therefore producing bad outcomes. It's human risk in the 21st century. So there are then two examples of things that I think are interesting. Firstly, then, junior staff can cause human risk for you in any organization, partly thanks to technology. And the second one being algorithms, interesting space for human risk, and I think we'll see a lot more of that. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can find others at human-risk.com/videos. You'll also find on human-risk.com details of podcasts and the newsletter that I produce on a fortnightly basis, so do subscribe to both of those. And don't forget to follow me at HumanRisk blog on Twitter. I'll see you very soon for another one of these videos. Thanks for watching.